Can you explain to me why a child who has been raped and is pregnant does not deserve an abortion?
Oh, yeah, okay. So, well, first and foremost, I have 2 ultrasounds. One of the ultrasounds is a baby that was conceived in. The other ultrasound is a baby that is from a loving relationship. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me which one is which?
I'm going to be fully honest, I do not know. Please inform me.
Well, you can't, because they're both human beings. There's actually someone in this audience here that was conceived in. Can you tell me which one it is?
I appreciate that you're actually looking around.
No, because you don't know, because human beings
Yeah.
conceived in actually are equal human beings of people not. So the point being is that it is not morally correct to murder a human being, regardless of the circumstances of how that baby was put into this world, despite how evil and horrific that it is.
Okay, I just also want to continue that I mean this in full sincerity. I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I genuinely think that the right to bear arms is brilliant, because if someone invades your home, if someone is threatening your life, surely you'd want to vanquish them in order to protect your family. Is that fair?
Yeah, but a baby is not an invader of your home.
Even for a 12-year-old who will die in childbirth?
Well, hold on, that's a different question. So the question is, remember, my answer, which you're referencing a Jubilee video, was that if...
I've never seen that video, but yes, of course.
Okay, but it's been well, let's just say, documented that my view on it. If the woman or the 12-year-old were to live, then the baby should be delivered. Now, mind you, that abortion is never medically necessary to save a mother's life, period. However, septicectomies are medically necessary, which are medical procedures to perform on a woman or a baby if the amniotic sac tears and the baby's head gets full of fluid, right? So I'm just trying to understand, if a 12-year-old's life is not in danger, you should try to save all lives involved. That's the position, is that you shouldn't try to eliminate the unborn baby, because that's still murder. And then let me ask you another question. In life, is it ever okay to do something evil after an evil?
I would say no.
We totally agree. So therefore, an evil, horrendous, unspeakable act happens of somebody getting raped, which is very rare, resulting in pregnancy. Therefore, continuing that cycle of evil is not the right moral thing to do.
Apply that now to the self-defense argument. Someone breaks into your house, starts beating up your son. Are you not going to shoot them?
Well, hold on, it's not the same thing. Let me give you another argument, which is that if in that instance there was an innocent life. Let me say this. If someone broke into my house,
okay,
and all of a sudden that person had a baby strapped to their chest,
yes,
I wouldn't shoot them. Would you?
No, because I think there's a certain utilitarian argument.
Okay, then we're agreeing.
But you said the word baby, not the word fetus.
What is the moral difference?
Are you familiar with the IUD contraception and how it can eliminate an embryo after conception?
Do you mean the copper IUD, or you mean a traditional IUD? There's 2 types of IUDs.
The one that was brought up to you in the other Dean Winters video, the one I did see.
Yeah. So again, that was probably not. So copper, it kills almost all sperm. Mm-hmm. There is an IUD, but an IUD is not an abortifacient.
So you're pro contraception?
Well, personally, not really, but in society, of course, yes. I mean, again, these are personal decisions versus societal decisions. But I guess you said the question is, of a fetus and a baby, what is the moral difference between the two?
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry for going on a tangent, but I want to ask you philosophically, what separates you, the man, Charlie Kirk, from the animals?
We are the speaking beings.
Exactly. I could not agree more.
I know. I'm Aristotelian at my core. So.
Wonderful. So am I.
You're a robot.
However, if a being cannot speak, that does not mean they're no longer human.
No, exactly, because I was actually going to clarify. Would you more say it's more rationality, or some might even say experience?
It's more than that, though. I believe that there's a deeper level, though, that the soul is the outgrowth of your rationality.
But that has to be done practically, if I'm right.
For example, this is actually flummoxing brain scientists right now. We don't know where consciousness is housed in the brain.
Very true. Very
right?
true.
And so, you know your stuff. We don't know where consciousness is, and
Very
it's
true.
driving neuroscientists crazy. When someone is considered brain dead,
yes,
the brain. It's an amazing story. An 11-year-old got in a horrific auto accident, was called brain dead, and all of a sudden, a year later, she has a period. And you're like, wait, I thought she's brain dead. When we cut into someone who's brain dead in their arm, their adrenaline increases. Someone who's brain dead, if a loved one starts to go up to them and talk to them, their heart rate increases. So even though there might not be brain waves, there's something else that is able to communicate with the outside world beyond reason. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And I think it's a mystery of what that is. I think it's the soul.
But I would say it's action, wouldn't you? It's action and experience.
No.
Why
It's
not?
It's more than that. Well, let me think deeper about what you mean by that. Go further.
I mean that I truly don't believe a person is a person until they commit an action, until they have thoughts. Because
okay,
you
got it,
said
got it.
But isn't growing in the womb an action?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Isn't growing in the womb an action?
No.
But so let me ask you a question. What action did my son have when he was born a minute old?
He starts crying.
Okay, so you consider that an action. So let me ask a question. When my son was 12 weeks old, he was kicking in his my wife's womb. Is that an action?
Sure.
That's what I just said.
Sure.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Sure.
I literally almost,
sure.
you mentally got me.
I
I
know.
was like, oh, maybe
Sure.
I was
no,
wrong.
but so you know.
Sure. I'm holding my hands
Let
up.
me go a step
Sure.
further. When my daughter was in my wife's womb, around 25 weeks, would recognize my voice and push up against her stomach. Is that an action?
Sure. Absolutely.
So therefore, we're worthy of moral protection.
But if the mother's life is at risk,
Which is, again, let's be very clear. That is so incredibly rare, and abortion is never medically necessary to save a mother's life. There are other procedures outside of abortion that can save the mother's life. For example, if you're 26 weeks pregnant and your uterine wall ruptures, which is a serious thing,
Yeah.
they say abortion is the only solution. No, you can have the baby delivered by C-section, which is cesarean section, which is not an abortion.
okay.
May I ask you a question if you don't mind?
Of course, yes.
Let's put this really, really dark thought away, right? It's a terrible thing to be around. And it's a tough conversation to have.
But it does happen. I am sorry.
And
But yes,
100%,
you're right.
Absolutely. But let's just put that right here for a second. But if the woman was completely healthy, do you feel like she has the right, if she could healthily give the baby up, do you think that she has the right to kill that baby as well?
That is the woman's choice. I'm a man. I cannot choose for her.
Now, can I ask you something? If, God forbid, you loved a woman and she was pregnant with your child, and you wanted this child with all of your heart, you dreamt about this child, and she has every right to walk into this building and remove your son away from you, you don't find that hurtful?
Not particularly, no, because it's her decision.
Okay, but again,
But it's your child.
I just want to get back to what
Not
you
till
said.
it's born.
So, but you said action determines moral worth. At what point does it become a human being?
After it exits the womb.
In order for your line of thinking to be correct, you say you're a man, you don't have a right to say over it. Why does the mom have a right to say over the baby if it's not her DNA?
Because sorry.
It happens to be in her?
Because it is her body.
No, it's another body in her body.
No, it's her body.
Well, no, the baby's different DNA, though. So it's actually not her body. Because your DNA was not your mom's DNA. It's separate deoxyribonucleic acid. It's not a clone of the mom. It's an offspring of the mom.
Huh? Again, I don't see.
No, but you keep on saying it's her body. The baby is actually not her body. It's attached to her body through an umbilical cord.
Okay. So if the two entities are separate, then I can shoot a pregnant woman and the baby will be fine.
Well, no. One is temporarily dependent on the other. No different than my 1-year-old right now. If you came and killed all of us in our house, my baby would starve to death after 2 days, and no one would feed it. So how is that morally different? So why should 1-year-olds get moral protection and 10-week-olds should not?
Because a 1-year-old can't kill its own mother.
But remember, take that out of the equation. Say the mom's fine.
No, I'm not taking. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like this, the truth. Like
how many times
birth
do you think
is
that-
painful. Birth is one of the women scream and and sweat and there is blood everywhere during a birth. It is not a nice thing.
From my perspective, it seems to me that Satan has captivated your heart to the most beautiful thing a woman goes through is childbirth. If you asked my mom what was the best day of her life, is giving birth. That is your perspective. That is not a true perspective.